Good morning, all my beautiful bastards out there. We're about to have a doozy of an episode. And as you might have noticed, this is another situation of where I just start recording. Though in this case, Jay was aware of it. He did tell me to start recording. He did ask me if I was recording, and I said, well, I should probably just start recording now. So I started recording in the middle of our conversation. That's how this podcast started, more or less. So, enjoy this next bit with no fucking context. Only thing I can really say is, midget races.
Call a person in a wheelchair a person in a wheelchair. How dare you? They're still a person. They can still do anything they want to do. You should that person should definitely compete in any competitive sport they want to.
I will admit, I would actually love to see a man in a wheelchair compete in the sprint with other athletes that
I
aren't.
think that a person in a wheelchair, I'm certain of this, but I believe any person who is disabled, anyone who is disabled, that means like a paraplegic, I can almost guarantee you, they would get in a wheelchair and they would sit on the Olympic Stadium and just be like, all of these eyes are on me. You could get a dwarf.
Yeah.
Put him in the Olympics. And just... I know that this is awful. But just watch the...
I mean,
Wow.
come on.
Against, like, the likes of Usain Bolt. and just...
It's not messed up. It's just human fucking nature. We want to see strange things. And I'ma guarantee you, get a dwarf with
a great sense of humor.
with either a great sense of humor or
Brad Williams would do it.
probably
Without a joke.
either a great sense of humor or a dwarf who is not ashamed of himself, and he would have a grand old time.
Wee Man, Brad Williams, any dwarf on Comedy Central. What's his name? He played as Game of Thrones. What's his name? Oh God, what's his name?
Shit, I don't know.
It's the Targaryen.
Yeah, it's a Targaryen boyo.
No, not Targaryen.
No.
Lannister.
Yeah, Lannister. Fuck. Lannisters always pay their debts. I know who you're talking about though. It's the dwarf that was really good in bed.
Yes.
And
I can't remember his name.
also probably the most charismatic character in the goddamn show.
Oh, totally. I'm Tyrion Lannister.
Oh.
Him. I want him. Brad Williams and Wee Man should go up against Usain Bolt.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Usain Bolt starting on the exact opposite end of the track to give the three a head start. They would totally do it just to have a laugh.
Oh, definitely.
Just to make complete fun of both themselves, the Olympics. Oh, it would be hilarious for them to do it.
It absolutely would.
Oh,
it would also be a pretty fun statement.
I love the idea.
I just don't want to be the one to pitch it. Unless it's to them, specifically.
Not in this day and age.
Yeah.
At all. I would hate to actually post something like this and explain to people.
Yeah.
This is my idea.
Yeah.
What we do is we get a bunch of fucking disabled people. And I don't mean disabled as in I like turtles. No, I don't mean that. I don't mean our current president. No. I'm sorry. What we do is we get...
Well, with the videos I've seen of Biden, I'm beginning to think he legitimately has Alzheimer's.
He has dementia. No.
Yeah.
There's been actual psychiatrists. There have been neurologists. There have been so many doctors that have looked at his symptoms through the screen and been like,
Like,
This is literally a textbook case of dementia. I don't even have to do any blood samples. I don't even have to do any screenings. This is a classic
I
textbook
watched
dementia
a
case.
video of him getting off on a helicopter. He got fine, down just fine. But then a Secret Service basically came around. He was walking down the path. One of them came up and pointed down the path, telling him that's where the White House is. And then he made sure he looked up at it. Then then the Secret Service went back up, and Biden just walked straight ahead, way past where he went. It's just shit.
Yes. That happens way more often than you'd think.
Yeah.
On top of that, have you heard some of his speeches where he's like, America can be described in one word?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would admit, I have never missed a Biden speech simply because it's either going to be extremely terrifying where he doesn't blink for 15 minutes. Like, he is completely entranced by something in front of him. His eyes unmoving, his head never moving whatsoever except for his mouth.
Yeah.
His eyes don't blink.
We should be really glad the camera doesn't pan that way, because it might turn out to be a pregnant woman or a small child.
I don't know. It's a teleprompter.
Probably.
It's a teleprompter that he is having to read off.
Oh, wait,
He's
let
reading
me
from a
rephrase
script.
that. He is not he is not infatuated with young children, just young children with good smelling hair.
No, he is entranced by children.
I'm going by the memes.
Oh, I know. It's just our president's a freaking pedophile, and
Effectively. Well,
excuse me,
let me play devil's advocate here. Considering
he's a map. He's a minor attracted
Let me play
person.
devil's advocate here. Considering he almost indefinitely has dementia, he's probably incapable of telling the difference.
Shut the fuck up. No, that's not a devil's advocate. No.
No,
Like that
no,
is.
it is not.
That is no. I'm sorry, Biden. If FBI, CIA, whatever's listening in on Discord calls, I know people do. I know that they're monitored here and there for keywords.
Yeah.
Biden is a pedophile. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind about the fact that he is a pedophile.
Yeah.
He has dementia. He also is the president that has more votes for him than any other president.
I might
US
be
history.
completely honest with you.
I don't
the fact
think
he
he
has
was elected legitimately.
the fact he has so many votes, even if he was elected legitimately, it would not say much. It is.
You would say that they voted against Trump because they're like, Orange man bad, he tweet mean thing.
Effectively, yeah.
Also, I love how everyone says January 6th wasn't in. Okay, how much do you know about January 6th?
It's a date.
Okay, here in America,
I think.
January 6th, 2021, last year, it is a notorious date. You see, January 6th is a day. January 6th is a day a quote-unquote insurrection occurred. Was this insurrection true? Not at all. It is not an actual insurrection whatsoever.
Oh, is it the day people walked into the White House and refused to leave?
Not the White House. The Capitol. The actual Capitol building. Where we have the Chamber of Congress.
I'm be
and
honest, I
the
don't
House
know the
of
difference.
Representatives.
I don't know the difference. They both look white to me.
The White House is the executive. Like, it is actually the place where the president is. The Capitol building is where we have the Chamber of Congress. Excuse me. The Congress and the House of Representatives.
Please tell me I'm being dumb and they're actually built in a different style and that it's only my imagination that has them look the same.
There is a different style.
Okay.
the Capitol actually has the dome. The White House has the columns.
Ah.
It has that round outside shape with the columns. The Capitol has the dome with the spike and the spire on top.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I always think it's the president building. It's the one every TV show ever uses for the president.
It's the one that we use for Washington. It's the one we use for DC. That's about it.
No. You know, like that circle shape with the thingy at top, like the dome thing. That's like what every comic ever uses. This is where the president lives, and almost every TV show ever uses too. It's like, no wonder I always think that's the White House. Fuck's sake.
Okay, so this is the United States Capitol building. All right, save. Let me just send this in.
Yep.
And do you want to see the White House?
Sure.
Okay. Front or back? Yes, there is a difference.
I don't know if I see the front or back more often.
Probably the. Oh, jeez. Probably the back because it's just more recognizable. I don't know why, but it's just more recognizable.
Yeah. Like, think of stereotypical one of you White House in DC Comics.
Okay, here we go. Boom. There's the White House.
Ah, okay, I see.
Yeah, that's the back of the White House. It's way more recognizable.
Yeah,
This is the front.
Yeah.
And it is... The front looks bland as crap. Like, it looks awful.
Okay, I think I finally realized why I'm always confusing the two. You know Independence Day?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I get it, yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. The White House is technically the president's house. It is where the president lives for his term. The reason why the president lives there is because it has rooms for the cabinet. It has rooms for the ambassadors, the Secretary of the Treasury, and the Secretary of State. On top of that, it has a direct link to tunnels that go to the Capitol building, that tunnel underneath Washington, to the Pentagon. The Pentagon is our military, is the head of our military. It is also, surprisingly, the Pentagon is more fortified than the president's house is.
Well, that is honestly more understandable, considering in a lot of cases the president is either a figurehead, or if he ends up dying, there are ways to go around it. If you lose the Pentagon, it's gonna be an issue.
The president is not a figurehead in the slightest.
No, I'm referring to on a world.
Okay. No.
But what I was mainly getting at is, if he dies, it's more easy to recover from him dying than the Pentagon disappearing or being taken.
Fair enough. So with January 6th, the insurrection occurred at the Capitol building, where a bunch of, I want to say immediately, these were not supporters of Trump at all.
No.
The ones who entered the Capitol tore down a United States flag and put up a Trump 2020 flag in the main flagpole. The one that every day Marines take down and guard.
Yep, that's not what I almost said that's not what
They're-
Americans do, but no, that's what some Americans do. But that's not what Trump supporters do. They're highly nationalistic, if I remember right.
patriotic, not
Patriotic.
nationalistic.
Okay.
Nationalism or fascism, forgive me, although a lot of people say that it's far right, it is. Trump supporters are not. I want to be clear about this. They are not fascists. They are not Nazis.
To basically protect what I said, I barely know the difference between nationalism and patriotism.
Okay, patriotism is like, I like my country.
Yeah, like they sound like the same thing to me. Like I like my nation and I like my country. It sounds the same to me. Like I don't speak English
Nationalism-
normally.
Oh yeah, nationalism is the direct extreme of patriotism, where it's like, are you born from America? No? Then you shouldn't be here at all. Get out. Get the fuck out. No, we don't want any immigrants. Kill yourself. America #1. Kill yourself. America #1.
Isn't that
Don't try to
zealotry?
come here. What?
Isn't that zealotry?
How do you spell that?
Yeah, let me spell it here so I can just say it right. Zealotry. Yeah, Zealotry. Oh, is that only for the
Oh,
religion?
zealot.
Yeah.
That's technically fanaticism.
Mm.
Okay. So technically, zealotry can be anything from ideology to religion to anything. Nationalism goes so far to the point where if you are not from America, or if you are not from Iceland, or if you are not from Germany, if you are not of this nation's heritage, if you are not of this national identity, you do not belong. You are not pure. You do not belong. That's nationalism. Borders protected strictly. It is patriotism at a almost zealot level. Which you are right. It is zealotry of the patriotic level. It is awful completely, but that is not what conservatives, that is not what Republicans here in America are. That is far right-wing fanatics. And notice, I don't call them conservatives, I don't call them Republicans, I call them right-wing fanatics. Left-wing, I am more terrified of them than I am the right-wing, because the right-wing, everyone, including conservatives, think are nutcases. The left, however, they have hijacked the Democratic Party. Completely. They have hijacked the Democratic Party here in America and are using their name of the Liberal and the Democratic parties to essentially say, well, you see, what we're going to do is we're going to teach kids about drag and sex, and we're then going to affirm gender abnormalities, such as if your child thinks they're a girl when they were born a boy, we're gonna call her by her preferred pronouns, but we're not gonna tell the parents. It's gonna be our little secret. Just wondering, does that sound like a child predator to you?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Those are our teachers now.
I know. I've seen some videos.
Yeah. Where teachers are legit no longer telling the parents what their kids are doing.
Yeah. Like, I find that really, really silly. Especially when you consider the amount of children that watch something on TV and then go, I am that now.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sorry.
Like,
I
take-
wanted to be a freaking Power Ranger when I was
Yeah.
a kid. I didn't go out to. I'm so glad my parents didn't bring me to get Power Ranger gender reassignment surgery.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
Like, there was a time when I was in kindergarten where I wore a Spider-Man costume for almost a year, refusing to take it off. My mother had to bathe me in it.
Did you grow out of that phase at least?
I'm not wearing it.
Exactly. You see, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say this. Like, call me an abusive person all you want. It isn't going to change the fact. Do I believe that transgender people are people? Yes. Do you want to be, like, if you want to be transgender, am I going to, like, still, am I going to care? No, not at all. If you're over the age of 25. The reason why I say over the age of 25 is because technically, scientifically,
That's
your
around
brain-
where the brain stops developing.
developing, correct.
Yeah.
Which means that most of your decisions are going to be because you're kind of stopped developed enough to where the brain chemistry has evened out enough to make correct decisions. And when I say correct decisions, I mean you're able to think logically and emotionally about topics that you're passionate about enough to where you're able to have a level head on most things and still be able to have an intellectual conversation. It's why a lot of people in Gen Z and why a lot of millennials I just dislike. Because when it came to the millennials having children and the children that are now Gen Z, they have run rampant. And the millennials, you see, Gen X and the baby boomers did something awful. They completely disregarded emotions and feelings of the millennials and said, well, I had it way worse than you. You're growing up in a time where we have this, this, and this. Like, what could you ever, like, be unhappy about? They didn't affirm the feelings and, what's the word I'm looking for? Concerns of the millennial generation. So the millennials took that and was like, we're not going to be like our parents, we're going to be the exact opposite. And anytime their child said, well, I don't feel good, immediately it went on affirmation bias. Where immediately the millennials were like, oh, sweetie, are you okay? Here, let me make sure that you're okay by completely affirming everything that you're saying. Oh, you say you're a frog now? Okay, what are your pronouns now? And have gone, like, I know I'm using extremes here.
But
problem
they're a
is
good
that-
way to set an example, and a lot of them are, unfortunately, true in this case.
The problem is that the extremes are slowly becoming the norm. And I hate that that's the case. I hate opening up Twitter and seeing another video of another teacher that is explaining what certain pronouns you can and can't use in a classroom. I'm sick and tired of opening up Instagram and seeing the exact same thing. I'm sick and tired of my TikTok feed being filled to the brim with children being introduced to drag. Because when I was a kid, do you know what drag was? You see, we had drag shows. 21 and up.
Effectively.
And guess where they were? Dallas, Houston, Austin,
Yeah.
Vegas, New York. They were showrooms
Yeah.
where it was a show. It wasn't this thing that you got these people with beards.
Well, here's a hot
To
take.
dress
Here's a hot take for you. If the child isn't at an age where you're comfortable telling them the birds and the bees, you should not be telling them about all this other things all this other shit related to sexuality.
Exactly. That is my point.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. I'm not comfortable with my kid. Like, I'm pan, for God's sakes. Like, I am not homophobic, so please, if you're recording, don't call me homophobic, people. I'm not. I'm on your side. The problem is, I'm not okay with straight people telling kids about sex. Why would I be comfortable with queer people telling kids about sex? It doesn't matter what sexuality you're telling the kid about. It doesn't frickin' matter. It isn't right. In Florida, last year, they had the quote-unquote "Don't Say Gay" bill. No.
That is
At
stupid.
no point in the bill, did it say "Don't say gay." It was a ban on teachers being allowed to teach children about sex, sexuality, and gender until 9th grade, high school, their freshman year of high school, biology class, if their parents signed a waiver for the children to learn. This went to teaching the kids about heterosexual relationships, to homosexual, to pansexual relationships, to bisexual relationships, to demi relationships, to poly, to demi-romantic. It was a ban on all talk about sex in its entirety, gender in its entirety. But people took it and used propaganda and called it the "Don't Say Gay" bill. It still got passed. And I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
Because that's how it should be. You should not be teaching your kids about sex until they're understand. In my opinion, maturity doesn't come at freaking 13 years old, because that's when a lot of guys' balls dropped. That's when a lot of like women, they started to transition into be, well, a lot of girls transition to become
like
women.
I will agree with you.
When,
Maturity doesn't come there, but
it doesn't.
Increased human not sexuality, sexual activity comes around that area. Libido comes around that period, so they do need to be taught.
Oh yeah. When puberty occurs, you need to be able to start having those conversations. The problem is, it should be about their body, not about sex.
It should
and
be about
what
their
sex is.
It should effectively be about their body, not their to use other people's language identity. But I never understood that. What the hell about me tells you I'm bi?
Like,
Exactly.
I couldn't, if I looked at you, I couldn't tell that you were different at all.
Yeah.
If you looked at me, what could you tell?
You're a Caucasian male?
Yeah, I'm a light skin. Let's go. That's what you think, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
then
know I
you
did.
actually
You
get
know
to-
I did that on purpose.
Oh, I know. And then you actually get to know me, and then you find out, oh, he's not.
He's Mexican.
He just happens to like be
Oh.
cursed by genetics.
And then I get to know you. Then I realize, oh wait, he's not human.
I'm a DM.
Exactly.
No.
Seriously,
problem
watch people pause as soon as I said, oh, he's not human, and then just go in the comments, then continue with, oh yeah, I'm worse of a DM.
So, understand, like, Garwin, in America, I can't remember the exact school, there was a pamphlet that was sent home. I believe it was in the Northeast. Maybe it was in Minnesota, Wisconsin, or Illinois. I don't know the exact state. I don't know the exact school district. But there was an elementary school that issued pamphlets to its older kids. Now, when I say elementary, that means kindergarten, that's the grade before first grade, to fifth grade. That's kindergarten starts at age 5. Fifth grade, as you can probably guess, occurs at age 11. Age 10 to 11. Now, you see that and you hear that. What was in the pamphlet that was given to these kids? What they can use as fucking sex toys. They gave men a pamphlet on how to tuck. If they wanted to look more feminine.
Alright, so...
The difference between fingering and fisting.
Alright, we're teaching that to 11-year-olds.
Do you understand why I think that our schools are filled with pedophiles?
That does bring in the question. Do they bring in, like, those dolls to teach them, or do they ask one of the children to come up so they can demonstrate?
Oh, I'd hope it's neither of those. I'd hope it's a gun that does this.
Yeah, effectively.
Hey kids, today I'm gonna teach you a very serious lesson. I only get one chance to show you. It's what happens after I pull the trigger.
See, kids, this is why you never point a gun at your head.
It's part of my curriculum. I shouldn't joke about that at all, but seriously, they're preying on children. This is grooming at its finest. It is. This is what grooming is, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it is.
It basically
on
is.
both sides. You're teaching children to keep stuff away from their parents. As in, stop being open, stop being transparent with your parents. Completely just keep them in the dark about your feelings. Everything. Your teachers are people you can trust. Here, take this candy, get in the van. That's what your teachers are now telling you in your schools. By the way, you are recording this, right?
Yep.
Okay. How much do we have so far?
Let's see. I started when you said on a should we or shouldn't we? So I have about 32 minutes so far.
All right. So people, my belief on this, like I've said, it's a thing about maturity. In schools, you shouldn't be teaching this at all. Call me right-wing nutcase all you want. I don't mind. Like, if being right-wing means that I don't want our kids to be taught about sex until they're able and mature enough to make decisions for themselves that are not based entirely on emotions and have a logical base to them, call me right-wing all you want. I don't care. I honestly don't. And please, if you call me transphobic, I still think trans people are people. Trans people have every right to exist. I'm attracted to certain trans people that are genuinely kind, nice, kind, compassionate. I keep saying the word kind because that's what matters to me. If you are kind, a decent human being can hold a conversation, and I don't care if you disagree with me. If you do, wonderful. But if you can still respect me as a human being and hold that disagreement and say, hey, I still respect you as a person, although I don't entirely agree with this opinion, wonderful. That's what I'm looking for in a partner.
Like,
now,
I'm being completely honest with you. I've met enough fugly individuals to know that it's not a matter of being trans or not that makes it so that whether tells you whether you're gonna look weird. There are some real fugly individuals out there of any fucking position.
Oh yeah.
And it's never mattered to me past the point of like, you're a little hard to look at. At that point, it becomes a question of, do you have a personality to compensate for this, or do I just not give a shit?
How much Tito's do I have to drink before my standards get to the point where I can like look at you?
Effectively.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to someone I wanna fuck, yes, looks matter. When it comes to someone I wanna date, looks matter still, but personality matters a little bit more. When it comes to someone I want to be friends with, looks go a little down. Personality matters a lot more. But there is a point where if I want to bleach my eyes every time I look at you, we can't be friends.
Garvin, are you trying to say something to me?
No. Look, I have camera on and a focus on you. And I'm not bleaching my eyes.
Garvin, you just held up a bottle of Clorox.
Oh, what do you mean? I'm not doing anything. Ah!
This is why I'm wanting to get augmentation.
And this is why I want prosthesis. This is why
I want to be beautiful, Garvin.
And this is why I want cybernetic eyes, so I can switch it on and off.
Oh, jeez. But, like I said, like, for a relationship, I'm just looking for someone who's freaking kind and compassionate. Can hold a conversation and just... forgive me for saying this. Is okay with both playing video games and going out camping and hiking. Can switch between the two fairly easily, from being indoorsy to outdoorsy, like myself. I don't want someone exactly like me, but I want someone who has something in common with me. Pretty much it. Now, people. I do believe trans people have every right to be that way. If you want to get surgery to transition, more power to you. I don't think that anyone under the age of 25 should be getting that, because your body still hasn't fully grown. Your brain chemistry hasn't fully grown. And people, you can argue saying, well, the thing is that your body chemistry, you need to change it while it's younger, so that way when you're older, it solidifies in the transition that you're wanting to have. Cool. The problem with that is that while you're still growing, your mind has a tendency to flip-flop.
Oh, yeah.
Like we said earlier, how I am so happy I didn't get frickin' Power Ranger sexual affirmation surgery when I was frickin' 13.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't do that.
Yeah. Like
because I no longer want to be a Power Ranger.
Yeah. Like, I'm really glad my mother said no when I asked her if I could have one of the Spider-Man spiderwebby things it surgically put into my hands.
You see, the thing is with kids, you are literally telling them to make permanent decisions about their body when they don't yet understand what their body is doing. And then the argument of, well, we need to teach them about their body. Okay. At what time do we teach them about their body? And what do we teach them about their body? Because here's the problem I have. And this is where my pansexuality has a tendency, and I mean a extreme tendency, to be called into question as me being bisexual instead of pan. I don't believe that there is 50,000 genders on this fucking planet.
Yeah.
This is where people are going to either agree completely or call me a bigot. Garwin, this is a make or break here. You're either going to hate what I'm about to say or completely agree, and I don't want you to say either or because I'm going to get the flack for this.
Not sure. You take all the pain, you take the suicide when it comes.
Oh jeez, the kamikazes are gonna come after me here.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, the thousand-fold steel katanas are gonna be unsheathed and be like, "We have mystical swords, die!" Oh jeez.
It's okay. Just put a piece of plastic in front. The swords will break. They're from eBay.
Look, people, if you identify as non-binary, gender fluid, things like that, go right ahead. Identify all you want. It doesn't change the bread and butter of what humans are. For centuries, for millennia, humans and most animals, I say most, because there are exceptions in the animal kingdom. Several exceptions, in fact, including, but not limited to, fish, including the clownfish.
Yeah.
I believe that there is a, it's either a, no, it's a reptile. It's either a chameleon, iguana, or a, I can't remember exactly what it is, but it has both sexual organs, and it can inseminate itself. Congrats. There are slugs, snails, animals in the animal kingdom that are hermaphrodites and can inseminate themselves that are asexual. They reproduce by themselves. Wonderful. Congrats. The problem is that for mammalia, mammals,
Mm-hmm.
the norm is that there is a male and a female. The male inseminates the female. The female bears child. That is sex. That is gender. Those are the birds and bees. The male inseminates the female. That is mammalia. I understand. I continue to say the word mammalia. Mammals. Guess what humans are? Mammals.
What? I thought we were fish.
Oh, I know, right?
Oh.
Like that's why I have scales, and that's why I can breathe so well underwater, even though I can't swim whatsoever, and if I go underwater, I drown.
No, wait, aren't we lizard people?
No, that's just George Soros.
Oh. Damn it. I thought we were all like that.
I wished, because apparently the lizard people control the world.
Apparently.
According to nutcases on both sides of politics. But for humans, in my opinion, there is only male and female. If you feel like you're male, then you're male. If you feel as if you're female, you're female. If you have a phallus, a penis, you are a male. If you have ovaries and a vagina, you are female. In no other setting, I'm sorry, do you call your dog a good it or a good them? No, it's good boy, good girl. Of course, I'm certain that me comparing humans to dogs is somehow demeaning, right?
Possibly, to some people.
Well, here. Quote by Winston Churchill. I like pigs. Cats look down on us. Dogs look up to us. But pigs, they see us as equals. You see, let me tell you about pigs for a second. You see, a female pig has, if I remember correctly, 8 teats, maybe more. I think it's maybe closer to 10 to 12 teats. I can't exactly remember.
I think so.
But it's a lot of teats. Yeah. And the male inseminates the female.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm sorry, but you don't call, like, a pig an it, or a they, or a them.
Yeah.
Pronouns be damned. They, them, ze, zir, zit. Your pronouns do
Pimple?
not matter. Yeah. I'm sorry. Have you heard these neo-pronouns?
I'ma say no, because there are way too many of these things out there.
Yeah. It used to be he, him, his, she, her, hers, they, them, its. That was it. And then it got into neo-pronouns, which I can't keep up with anymore. I tried. I genuinely tried. And then as I kept looking at this, it got to the point where I was like, what the heck are we doing? I'm sorry, this is too much affirmation. Like, I'm completely okay if you want to identify as male or female or neither. Or either one of the two. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead. It doesn't hurt anyone. But as soon as you try and identify as a tree, as soon as you start to identify as a freaking goddamn cactus, or a frog, or as a wolf, I'm sorry, you're not a wolf. You're not. I don't see you walking on all fours. I don't see you with a long snout. Your sense of smell and taste isn't heightened. Your sense of hearing isn't heightened. Your eyesight doesn't see in gray hues with muted color. That's not what... You don't have that. You're human. You can identify and pretend you're a wolf all you want. Just know that's what it is. Pretend. Go ahead and pretend. Keep it behind closed doors. Because, if you keep it behind closed doors, I have no problem. As soon as you bring it out in the open for everyone to, gawk at, that's on you. Completely. You are bringing what you are into the public eye. You're bringing your opinion and your ideas to the public for them to criticize. And that's what I'm doing here. On a public platform, and I am completely ready and willing to listen to any criticism that comes my way.
Absolutely.
Any and all. Bring it on. My opinion on this is unchanging, though.
Yeah, as soon as you go public, if you for some reason expect not to get criticized when you go public with any opinion, I'll begin to question your ability to comprehend anything in your reality.
Exactly. Because it then shows a lack of social awareness. Where... Have you heard of the woman... here in America, I can't remember where. I think it was somewhere in the Carolinas. She was a teacher, a 7th grade middle school teacher for 13-year-olds.
Yeah.
And she was fairly like open about her social media. And one day she made a post with her lesbian lover.
Oh.
With her girlfriend.
That did not go over with the school board.
No, surprisingly, the school board never found out. The kids saw this and started harassing. They started harassing her for being gay.
Yeah, kids are kids.
She then tried to sue the school board for not defending and protecting her from 13-year-olds who were trolling her online.
Ah, yes. Please, fellow adults, beat the shit out of these children for me.
It wasn't beat the crap out of them. It was punish them for cyberbullying her.
What year was this?
I think back in 2017, 2016.
Ah, okay. So a little after the beat the shit out of the children movement.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you. Couple years prior, and it would have been fine.
The funny thing is that the woman went on to BuzzFeed, and BuzzFeed ran with her story and was like,
"Of course it
this
did.
is so sad how a lesbian woman couldn't even be safe online in a safe space. It's sad that a bunch of young, impressionable teenagers did this to her. It's sad that they can't be accepting. It's sad that this next generation is homophobic and bigoted and will more than likely be raised to be the exact same." The problem is that she posted a post online as a teacher.
Yeah.
Do teachers need to have a social media? Not really. Are you still allowed to have one? Yes. Should it be private, away from your students?
Preferably, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, like everyone keeps going on and on about children are the most innocent creatures in the world, and that is true.
They're not.
No. Hear me out. That is true, because innocence is not defined by how moral you are or how good you are. It's defined by your lack of understanding of what the fuck any of the shit is.
Fair enough.
They're too innocent / naive to understand the harm they do, so they just do whatever the fuck.
And understand, at 13 years old, Garwin, come on. We were trolls at that age too.
Oh yeah.
We both know it.
Yeah, like there's a story that my mother sometimes tells me when we get together, and it's one I deeply regret today, but I'm always glad to hear that, my late grandma laughed about it, always after the fact, every time she came back and I told my mom about it, so thankfully it didn't actually hurt her. Apparently, and I don't know, I think I'd watched the Night Shift. It was an Icelandic TV show, you probably wouldn't know about it. And there's a character in there that once held up his son and went, "Helvitis fucking fuck," which is basically, it's those words. Funnily enough, have used so much that they become Icelandic. Helvitis, that is basically hell realm, effectively, or something of the sort. And then fucking fuck. You can understand where that comes from. It's a sentence. But apparently, when my grandma on my mother's side once left, I yelled through the mailbox, "Komdu ekki aftur helvitis tíkinin." Translated, it basically means, "Don't come back, you fucking bitch." Oh.
Corwin.
I was in kindergarten.
If I said that to either my grandma or my abuela, I would have my ass beat so fast.
Well, in my case, it was a situation of throughout the years I'd lived, I'd either gotten my ass beat so much or yelled at so much that it had become a game between me and my parents. like, I've calmed down insanely since I was younger. Like, for those that don't know, I have ADHD. Nowadays, you probably wouldn't be able to tell unless I was off my meds and just went with whatever the fuck, and didn't try to contain myself. And even then, you might have to question it. My mother likes to say that when I was younger, it was the equivalent of raising 10 children. Yeah, I was...
Alright.
yeah. I was a little hyperactive.
Yeah.
And... if it wasn't obvious, ADHD also comes with something that means you don't think twice, really.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
do. And you
Yeah.
might never think.
I tend to overthink, hyperthink, I call it. Where
Yeah.
I don't overthink, I hyperthink. It is the extreme of,
Yeah.
okay,
Like-
so if I do this.
Like, I was an
tend to do this.
extremely emotional child, got extremely hyper, said whatever the fuck, did whatever the fuck, and I'm so glad my grandma took it in good sport and laughed about it whenever she came after, because, like, she's dead now. Long while, couple of years now. And,
Yeah.
like, my mother reminded me of this event, like, a couple months ago, and I remember sitting there just,
I have a story kind of similar to that.
Yeah.
And it happens to be about something strange. Stranger than you'd expect. And it happened with my neighbors. Back when I was living in Oak Cliff as a kid. So, if you've never had a block party, essentially what it is everyone in your neighborhood or in your block, like a certain section of houses, what happens is all these people get together in an area and they bring food and just have a party. It's wonderful. It's lovely.
I've only done
really
something similar once, and it was in those houses that are three together fused.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not on top of each other.
condos.
It's just three together houses, and we only had it with our. Well, if you look at the house with our right side neighbor, because the left side neighbor's garden was completely grown over and fenced, he was not very social. I did not know, I never saw that man in my entire life living there. But the neighbor I saw all the time. They had beautiful, beautiful dogs. Okay, once or thrice saw inside their house. Only saw them through the garden and the grills they had. You know, and me being me, whenever they were grilling something, me and my brother just went, eh. Can I have?
Yeah. So, I remember one year we were having a block party, and I decided it would be fun to turn on the water hose.
Oh no.
It was summer, and I thought people would enjoy having a bit of like a splash, a little thing. I was, I think, 7 at the time.
Yeah.
I was young.
I could definitely tell you, for the people outside looking in, it would have been funny as hell.
Oh!
Afterwards, at least.
I had my ass handed to me on a silver platter that night. Oh boy, did that belt feel...
Oh.
It felt warm that night.
I can imagine, my man.
And for those that are about to get mad at my father for hitting me, he spanked me on the butt, and to be fair, I never did it again. I never did it again, and I learned my lesson about messing with parties and things like that. I learned don't mess up people's clothes and ask before I do something at the block party that is going to affect several people.
least you learned something.
I sprayed not only the people, but the food as well.
Now that's where you cross the line.
Yeah. The people I did on purpose. The food was on accident because the people immediately reacted and I jerked the water hose away and it got on the table, messing up a cheese dip, which is queso, the corn chips.
I just feel sad now. The poor
and
food.
two smoked briskets that our neighbor had just completed.
How could you?
I was 7.
I would forever hold this against you, you monster.
Here's the thing. I've cooked enough briskets to know how long it's taken, and I hate myself for what I did to that guy.
I can imagine.
I never saw him at another block party again. We never had brisket at another block party, and I feel so bad about it. And it's because of me. But yeah, there's that. Now, let's bring that to our current topic. When it comes to kids being trolls, kids are going to be kids. They're going to be trolls. They're going to do stupid things that hurt people that you don't understand why they're doing it. They don't even understand it.
Yep.
Like, for God's sakes, when I first came out to my friends in school, when I was like, hey, I have a crush on a guy, I immediately got blasted for it and told them that was weird.
Hey, kids be kids, my man.
Exactly. Kids are gonna be kids. And here's the thing. I didn't understand why it was different. And then as I grew up, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. They had never seen this before. It was new. They had only ever seen heterosexual couples. That's fine. I get it. Yeah. I see why they didn't like it at the time. That's fine. That's perfectly cool. And growing up, I learned pretty quickly what was going on. Now, to our current topic, where this teacher got upset with her students for bullying her online. You are in your 30s complaining about 13-year-olds.
Yeah.
You were a teenager when they were being born. You were learning arithmetic when they were still an itch in their daddy's nutsack.
Oh, yeah.
And you're allowing them to get under your skin? You're giving them power. That's all I can say. Is the teacher is immediately relinquishing power to the students that are doing this. They're letting the students win. They're letting the trolls win by allowing the trolls to get underneath her skin. That's all I can say about that. Now, that teacher ruined her own life and career by doing this. Now, what does this have to do with the trans topic? Well, same thing. When it comes to trans people, go ahead and be you. That's perfect. But if you allow people to get under your skin and bully you, that's on you. If you are offended by what I have said, I'm going to ask you, does what I say have any merit to it? If it has merit, then are you going to argue with my point that it has merit? And if it has no merit, why do you care? If it's untrue and it has no relevance to you, why care? Why be offended? Why waste the energy that it takes to be offended and be mad at me or at anyone? And that's the problem I have with the entire queer community. It's a problem I have with the entire race situation, is that if you're offended on someone else's behalf, at some stereotype. Ask yourself, does that stereotype have merit? I've had several friends mad at me for perpetuating the whole Hispanic stereotypes that I sort of bring out here and there. I have also pointed out to my white friends that they don't put seasoning on anything, and that anytime I put even a hint of spice in my foods, it burns their face. And meanwhile, I'm just sitting there eating my food like pussies. Like, and then they'll turn right around and they'll, like, for my birthday, they'll be bringing me tequila. They'll be bringing me Kool-Aid. They'll be bringing me fried chicken. They'll be bringing me salsa. Everything. One year, I had one year for my birthday, I had my friends buy me and my father brand new gardening tools on my birthday. They brought hedge clippers, a weed whacker, a trimmer, lawnmower blades. Do you understand how racist this was?
No, I'm missing something.
Hispanics are... It's a stereotype here in America that Hispanics do a lot of landscaping and lawn work.
Oh.
So them buying a lot of like landscaping tools like hedge clippers, a weed whacker, it's hilarious.
Oh, I just realized something. If
Yeah.
people recognized Icelandic people as a different race, buying us farming equipment or landscaping things would be also be racist.
Or fishing equipment.
Or that.
Yeah.
Or telling us how the aluminum industry works. I'd be like, you're speaking to the fucking choir.
Like, I've had people buy me racist things and I laugh about it because it's a stereotype, yeah, but what's the point in being offended? Like, I can either laugh it off and say, fuck off.
Exactly.
Or I could actually take the effort it takes to be completely offended and get upset. Like, earlier, I asked Garwin what he saw me as originally. Like, and he said I look like a Caucasian. And am I offended? No. Did I joke around and go, fuck you?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Because I know what I am. He knows what I am. And I make fun of my own light skin all the time. But I'm not offended by it. Being offended is a choice people make by being too serious about something that shouldn't be taken so seriously. For people that are being bigots, and okay, if you are listening to a bigot, you have no right to be offended because you are listening and giving merit to what a bigot is saying. If what the bigot says has no merit, then you're wasting your time listening to them in the first place. Either way, there is no reason why you should be offended. No reason. Yeah, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That statement is false. Words hurt. They do. But they hurt because you allow them to.
Yeah, I was
You allow
about to
them
say.
to dig. You allow them to dig under your skin. You allow them to simmer in your head. It's a self-perpetuating, what's the word I'm looking for? Self-perpetuating what? What's the word I'm looking for?
Self-perpetuating cycle?
Thank you. No. It's a self-depreciating cycle. Self-depreciating cycle.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
perpetuating.
Yeah, I think that's a word. Let's see.
It's a self-depreciating cycle where you hate yourself because you're offended by something. Either that or you feel bad because you're offended by something. So, what do? Well, you get angry and offended at the person who said the offensive thing. They then say the exact same thing and you get offended. So you go back and try and defend yourself from being offended and you get offended again. So you do repeat the process all over again. You're allowing it to get underneath your skin. If you just don't go back to that person, if you just walk away, because that person isn't going to change at all. I learned this a long time ago. You're not going to change anyone. Pray for their downfall for all I care. Pray for their mouth to be sewn shut by Andrew Jackson. I don't care. It is entirely in your hands whether or not to be offended. That is the be all end all of this conversation. That goes for trans, that goes for non-binary, that goes for furries, that goes for scalies, that goes for littles, that goes for daddies, mommies, that goes for everything. All of you freaks out there, let your flag fly for all I care. It doesn't matter. But if you bring your quirk, your freak stuff, and yes, I am calling it freak stuff because guess what? It's not of the norm. I'm not using that as a demeaning term. Freaks, I'm not saying that to be rude or to be mean. I see that as a genuine, compliment, because it means you're different, you're irregular, you're not of the norm. You're extraordinary in a way. So please take it as a compliment when I say be freaky all you want. I don't mean that to be rude. I want to make that clear. But when you bring your freaks outside into the public eye, expect to be offended. Please do. Expect to have verberosities and atrocities thrown at you. Expect bigotry to be flung your way. Because guess what? I might not believe in evolution, but we have a lot in common with monkeys. Because whenever monkeys are upset, they throw shit around. Whenever humans are upset, we throw verbal shit around. It's just what we are. It's what we do. Now, you have two options here. One, you fucking pack up and deal. Or you go nuclear on the person and cause them to retaliate. And then you're right back to square one. Because you're either going to win the argument, which is going to be a hollow victory, because you're going to be riding that high for maybe a minute. And then you're going to be like, whatever. And you're going to be pissed at everyone.
Effectively,
and then
yeah.
It's not going to help anyone. I've been there. I've done the exact same thing. I've gone nuclear on people who I've called bigots before. Yeah. It doesn't help. It doesn't change their opinion. It doesn't change their mind. It solidifies their belief that you're in the wrong and they're in the right. Yeah. Congrats. You just made a lifelong enemy and a lifelong bigot, an even stronger bigot. Because they're now going to have the belief that every one of you is a fragile snowflake that allows everything to get underneath their skin. That's how I see the world. It's not, and I know it's not simple as just stop being offended. It's a lot tougher than that. I get it. I do. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to stop being offended, and then magically you stop being offended. It's not how it works. But you need to learn how. You need to learn how to deal with people being dicks. And that's my advice. Learn how to deal with it in a healthy way. That means walking away from the situation, meditating, eat a pint of Ben and Jerry's for all I care. I've done it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why. There's a reason why I used to weigh over 260 pounds.
Yeah.
And I am now under 200, and I am back down. This morning I weighed, and I am at 189. I finally broke down from 190 to 189, and I am on cloud 9. And I'm going to celebrate today by going out to Cane's Chicken, getting some fried chicken fingers, a giant drum of sweet tea, and I'm going to be a pig.
That's gonna be
and
good.
I'm gonna gain 5 pounds. I don't care. I now know it's possible to continue losing weight, and I'm going to continue.
Yeah.
But people, please, like, whatever method you have for dealing with stress, for dealing with sad feelings, please do that. Because being offended, life's freaking too short
It really is.
to like waste energy on being offended by every little thing. Like, we now live in a digital age where everyone's opinions, including this one, it's linked everywhere. Until we have the another Morris worm virus that will destroy the internet. What you say is going to be here. The bigots are going to be here.
Oh yeah, they are.
Nothing will change.
It's very unlikely they're ever gonna leave, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with humans being humans. Like, it's just... There's a reason we survived as long as we did. It's because we looked at a lion and immediately thought, that's probably gonna eat us. We didn't walk up to the lion and go, oh, wanna be friends? Are you do you think you'll eat me if we become friends? I'm sure we could get along. Or we didn't watch Steve get mauled by a lion and then walk to the lion and go, you're bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, forgive me for saying this, but that's kind of what it is. The bigots right now are the predators.
Effectively.
They're the predators, and like they're going out of they're feral, like rabid predators. They're hyped up on rabies, and they're aggressive, and they're going to show their colors immediately. They're coming out foaming at the mouth, spewing just absolute atrocities towards everyone, they're spewing out Kanye everywhere. They're calling for the death of the Jews. They're saying Hitler was a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kanye, I support you completely. You have my vote 2024. I pray that you get president of Loopyville.
You know,
yeah.
If I was able to vote in America, personally, I'd probably vote for Steve the Cat.
Same, yeah. But Kanye, you totally have my vote for president of Loopyville. I hear it's a great place this time of year. It gets filled up with all them asylum patients so quickly. I hope you get promoted to president of that place. Go to hell, you piece of shit. I'm so glad I never listened to your music. Actually, no, I'm kidding. Just because, like, just because you disagree with someone's, like, political views, that doesn't mean that you have to stop listening to, like, music or, like, I don't agree with Tom Hanks.
Mm.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna stop watching Toy Story
Effectively,
or
yeah.
The Polar Express or You've Got Mail.
Mm.
I don't agree with his political views, but hey, I mean, he's a great actor. I'm still gonna watch his movies. Same
Yeah.
with Matt Damon. The Martian, wonderful movie, awesome. The Great Wall with Mert Derman. Do you want to talk about cultural appropriation for a second there?
I never watched the Great Wall movie. I need to watch it now. Like, it has a lot of aliens in there. No, that shit. But yes, you want to talk about cultural appropriation? we appropriate the Great
Let's
Wall
get
in all
a-
our shit.
Let's get a white guy to play this.
That too.
Let's get Mert Derman to play.
I miss the days when you could have an Asian appear on TV with a big ass hat, funky teeth, going ching chong chang, and people would just laugh instead of coming pissed off as shit.
Oh, that reminds me. Okay, Garwin, I'm gonna ask a serious question real quick.
Alright.
And actually, no, I'm gonna save it for later when we're off the air, when we've stopped recording.
Alright.
Because I am gonna have to go soon. I need to get some lunch in me.
Yeah. Oh wow, we gone from an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's 20 till noon over here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Everyone, it's been so interesting today. I took over a lot of today by explaining some of my views to Garwin.
Yeah. I was just having fun listening.
Oh yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed my...
I'm part of you, audience. I'm one of
Yeah.
you.
I hope everyone can, like, at least respect my beliefs here. They're not really going to change on this subject because I'm sorry. Be offended all you want. Be offended all you want. It's your choice. Just know you're wasting energy.
Yeah.
Either way. Whether you're right to be offended or wrong to be offended, you're wasting energy because I'm not changing. No one here's changing. I've given you alternatives to being offended, which can be productive, which is go meditate, read a book, just pack up, deal, and just focus that energy, focus that anger into something else. Like, go to the gym. Like, seriously, I will go to the gym when I'm angry, and I will take everything, my frustration, out on the weights. I will put it into the treadmill. I will put it into the elliptical. I will do everything in my power to focus my anger, focus my energy as much as I can. And if I see it in bigotry, if I see it when I'm offended, I'll use it. Anything I got. I'll use what they're trying to do to tear me down. I'll use it to empower myself. Not looking for outside validation. I'm sorry, Garwin, hold on. Can you tell me I'm beautiful?
Absolutely. You're the
Fuck
most
you, I
beautiful
don't
person I've
need
ever
it.
known.
I don't need no man.
I don't
need
care what you say. I think you're beautiful, and I'm gonna say you're beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Let's go. Self-validation, people. Outside validation is good, but at the same time, self-empowerment is so much better.
Oh yeah.
Everyone, thank you so much for listening to Flannel Legacies. My name is Jay, Cyber J, and it has been lovely being here. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening.
And always remember, no one can give offense. You can only take it. Love you all.